Hey traders, I just want to record a quick video to let you guys know about this latest update to PineScript. The TradingView team have added a bunch of new cool, somewhat obscure, but cool features. They'll be useful in certain use cases. The first thing they've added is you can now return things like the background color of your chart. These are all built-in variables here. And you can use this built-in variable to do things like adjust your chart, your script's color scheme if you want to. We also have foreground color here and a bunch of other built-in variables here to do with your type of bars that your chart uses. So you can check if the current bar type is Heikin Ashi, Renko, etc. This can be useful to, like, I don't know, display warnings to your user that your script doesn't work on a certain candle type or only run your script on certain candle types, and that sort of thing. The feature that really caught my eye with this new update is this one here, the visible bars and dynamic dynamic recalculation. And so they've added a couple of new built-in variables here that we can use to check if our script is running on the bars that are visible on our chart. So I'll show you what I mean by that on the actual charts. So here I am on TradingView on US yen, which has been on a historic tear recently. It's crazy to watch. Inflation is doing some crazy things to the markets at the moment. But anyway, these new built-in variables will allow us to run our script on just the bars that are loaded onto my chart visually. So whatever's visually drawing onto my chart, we can use just that data set to run our script on now. This is useful for something like volume profile, for example, visible range volume profile. This calculates the volume profile based on the visible range of bars. So we could create a similar script now that would calculate certain values based on the visible range of bars in our chart. The way we do that is using comparing the current bar time to these two variables here. So they've got an example script here. If I copy this over, let's have a look at what it does. Add this to my chart. It's drawing an arrow from the very first bar that's drawing on my chart to the very last bar on my chart. And it's saying how much this market returned over that time period. And now if I zoom out, it updates. There we go. It updated to now this bar all the way to this bar. So if you wanted to create a filter, for example, let me get rid of all of this. Let's just change the background color of our chart to if time is greater than or equal to the left visible bar and time is less than or equal to the right side of our chart. Let's set the color to color.new color.blue with 50% transparency. Otherwise, do nothing. So if it doesn't fall within those two bar times, we don't change the background color. If the current bar time is within these two bar times, the furthest left and furthest right, then our background will turn blue. Basically, this will just change the background of our chart to blue. There we go. Because as we zoom out, it'll update to include all of the visible bars. I think that's it. That's all I've added. Yeah, there's no other features here. One thing to note is that because scripts using this feature will re-execute the code more often. So every time you change your chart zoom amount and adjust how many bars are on your chart, your script will have to re-execute. So depending on what kind of script you are running, you may need to be a little more efficient with your coding in order to keep your scripts responsive. Now, before I wrap this update up, there was another update a couple of weeks ago where the TradingView team have added a couple of new functions to the request library. So we can now request lower time frames using the security function, which was not possible in the past. This is something I'll probably have to cover in its own lessons in order to show you some sort of practical use case for this. But if you want to read about this update before I get around to recording any lessons on it, there'll be a link below this video to this blog post. You can also now use the request.economic function, which fetches economic data for a country or a region, including information such as a country's GDP, inflation rate, etc. And finally, the security function can now return arrays, strings, booleans, colors, and tuples. And there's some example code here. Anyway, that's it for today's update video. As I've mentioned, there'll be links to these blog posts below if you want to investigate these new features and changes in more detail. But for now, that's all. Take care, good luck with your trading, and I'll speak with you in the next lesson.